If you're serious about web development in 2025, Django is a game changer. It's fast, secure, and built to handle anything from small projects to massive, high traffic websites. Used by companies like Instagram and Spotify, Django makes web development effortless with its powerful features and batteries included approach. Whether you're a beginner or a pro, Django's efficiency, scalability, and security makes it the ultimate framework to learn. So if you want to build modern, high-performance web apps and future-proof your skills, stick around because today we'll be building a skills marketplace with Django. In this tutorial, we're building a powerful Django web app from scratch. Imagine a platform where users can showcase their skills, manage them effortlessly, and connect with opportunities, all in a clean, fully responsive design. We will start with a secure login and sign-up system, making sure authentication is rock solid. Next, we'll create a dynamic homepage where users can browse or listed skills beautifully displayed on any device, desktop, tablet, or mobile. Each user gets a personal dashboard where they can manage their skills in just a few clicks. Need to make changes? No problem. Our app will allow users to edit, update, and delete skills with ease. And the best part, the entire site will be fully responsive, looking stunning on all screen sizes. Ready to build this? Fire up your code editor and let's get started with Django. So inside your favorite text editor, right, just gonna open the terminal and say Python -m venv. So we're just gonna call our virtual environment env. So venv is actually a Python built-in package. So you don't have to worry about pip installing it or anything. So after creating our virtual environment, so we need to activate it. So here we're gonna say env / scripts / activate. Okay, so now we've activated our virtual environment. So what we need to do is we're just gonna pip install Django, and inside our skills web app, right, just gonna be using images, so we need pillow. So what we're gonna do here is gonna say pip install pillow, and once that's done installing, we're gonna pip install Django. Okay, so that's done. So now we're gonna say pip install Django. So okay, now that Django has been installed successfully, I'm gonna say Django -admin start project. So I'm gonna call this one skills. So if you have a better name for this, you can just put it. We're just gonna say cd skills. So now we've entered our skills folder, and here we're gonna say Python manage.py run server. So there should be an R here. Okay, so we have some migrations to do, so we're gonna do this later. You don't have to worry about that now. So you're just gonna control click this. Okay, so from the look of this, our installation worked successfully. So going back to our terminal, right? So we're just gonna control C this, and then what we're gonna do is just gonna press up, then get rid of run server. Then I'm gonna say start app. So I'm just gonna call it core Sometimes I use main, but let's just use core. Let's do this. So once Python manage.py start app core is done, right? If you look at our skills folder, right? Inside our skills folder, now we have this core folder and we have skills in here, right? So if you open skills, right, you're gonna see that we have some files in there, right? So this one, ASGI, and this one now, you're only gonna use them if you're deploying this to a live server. So we're not gonna be using these two files in this video. So what we have is we have settings.py. So this is more like the main folder where everything is just gonna be located. So it's more like the daddy for this whole project. So in here, we're gonna find installed apps, secret keys, templates, the way what you call them, passwords are organized and other stuff, right? Then URLs. So this is what links URLs and our views, right? So before we go anywhere, we just need to let's just scroll down here and let's just register our core, the app we just created, and just save this, right? So most of the stuff, right, it's gonna be easier to understand as we're going through the project. So just bear with me, and we're just gonna work on the project together. So let me just look at this real quick and see if there's something else I can just fix right now before I continue with the project, so that I don't have to go back and forth, right? Okay, so we need to add some information here. Okay, underneath here, right, I'm gonna say media underscore URL. So I always do this at the start, right? Because sometimes I tend to forget and start getting a lot of errors, and I get frustrated. So I usually do this at the start, right, so that I don't have to go back and forth and do tweaks and whatnot with settings.py. So I always want to do this first. So yeah, I'm gonna say media / like this. Then I'm gonna say media underscore root. So this is going to be first the / media. So let's make this small caps like this. So this base there is just more like the base directory for our project, and it's registered. Okay, here it is right here, right? So what I need to do now also, right, I'm just gonna do this. I'm just gonna say login underscore URL. So okay, so we're just gonna call our login login. Okay, so let me just copy this and paste it 3 times. Then this one here is going to be, let's say when we log in, right, we're just gonna be redirected to, so this is going to be like the index file, so we're just gonna leave it this, right? So when we log out also, just gonna be redirected to the index page. So what the index page was gonna do, like, it's just gonna serve as, if you're logged in, you get to see the skills that are going to be advertised on the web app, and if you're not, you're just gonna see also the skills that are advertised on the web app, but you're not gonna be able to see, let's say, your dashboard. Let's say you added some skills there on the web app, you're not gonna be able to see them. So this needs to be, so let me copy this and paste it here, and this needs to be redirect, not redirected, and this needs to be log out. Okay, so let's save this and let's close our settings.py file. So we're gonna need urls.py. So let me just get rid of this, and we're gonna leave this open. So if we open our core folder, right, we have this migrations folder. So this is going to be essentially, let's say when we add create a model and we migrate, that's when it's going to register it into our database. If we change something, we're just going to be running migration, so we don't have to worry about this migrations folder. And this admin.py file, this is what's going to register our models to our admin panel. Right, so we're going to see this when we create a super user. Then this app folder, this is like gonna be dealing with our apps. Then our models, our database models, tests, automated testing, and views. This is gonna be showing our the views that's gonna be linked to our URLs in the URLs.py file, right? So what we need to work on first, right? Let's just create our models. So let's open models.py file. Let me just keep views.py open also. Okay, so at the top here I'm gonna say from Django dot db hash from Django dot db now we need to say dot contrib dot path dot models import user like this. Then our first model, we're gonna say class UOM. So this is more like unit of measure. So let's say that you offer the scale per hour or per week, per day, or it's once off, or it's per year. So just gonna say unit of measure. So class UOM, then models dot model. So we're just gonna say name, and our name is gonna be models dot field max length, let's just say 255 characters. So I'm just gonna, let's just say class meta inside your class. Can I say this, then let's say, let me shift tab here, define underscore str like this. So this is going to return self dot name. So this needs to be a dot, not a comma. This, okay. Let me just copy this and paste it underneath here. So create some space and let me add a comment. So this is going to be categories. Let me get rid of this. Let me get rid of this also. Okay, so here this needs to be category like this. Okay, so we don't need to change anything else here. Django automatically adds an S in the database. So what we need to do here is, let me just Control Z this here and copy it and paste it down here. Okay. So right here I'm gonna say variables underscore name underscore plural is equal to categories. So let me just like write it properly. Okay. So now let's put our skills underneath here. So I'm gonna say plus, let me put some space here, shift tab and put some comments here. Skills. Okay, so class, so let me call this skill model model. So we're gonna have an image, like let's say for the system to look a little bit better, right? As you've seen in the demo, we have an image. So here I'm just gonna say image is equals to models dot image field. So we're gonna upload this to upload. Now this shouldn't be in quotes. Upload to images blank. I'm gonna set it to true, and now we're gonna set it to true. Then we're gonna need a name. I'm gonna say, let me just copy this. Okay, I'm gonna need a category. So here we're gonna say models dot foreign key. Then here we're gonna say category. So we didn't change this, so this needs to be category like this. Then here I'm gonna say related name. Then I'm gonna say, let's just say skills. Put this in quotes. Then here I'm gonna say on delete. Then I'm gonna say models dot cascade like this. So we need to do the same for unit of measure. So let me just duplicate this. So this is going to be UOM. So this is going to be so here I'm gonna say blank. I need to put a comma here. True, and now say it true also. Okay, so we're gonna need a description. Description of the service or the skill we're gonna be offering to clients, right? So description is going to be a lot of characters. So let's just put a text field. We're gonna say models dot text field. So blank is going to be true, and now it's going to be true also. I think what else are we gonna need? We're gonna need a price, right? So that let's say we're gonna say if we're charging, let's say $17 per hour, something like that. So here I'm gonna say price. So here I'm gonna say models. Excuse me, models dot load field. So okay, I think we're gonna need who's gonna create the skill. Let's say the user that's gonna be providing the skill. Maybe when the skill was created inside our web app. So here let's just say created by, here I'm gonna say models dot foreign key user, then when I say related name, let's just maintain skills, then on delete, so it's gonna be models dot cascade like this. Now we need to create created at, so you're gonna say models dot datetime field auto now add like this. So we're just gonna make this true, right? So for these to be added to db.sqlite 3, right? That's this here. Let's go back to models. Don't need to be opening this. Okay, so for it to be added, right, and be registered, we need to make migrations. But before we do that, we need to open admin.py file so that we register our models. Okay, so here we need to import our models. So we're gonna say from dot, so models and admin.py, they're in the same core folder, right? So we're just gonna say from dot models import. So we have UM, we have category, and we have skill. But skill in small caps. Okay, so we need to fix this. Control S, and this needs to be skill with a capital letter S. So then down here I'm gonna say admin dot site dot register. So let me just copy this and paste it 2 times, and this is going to be category, and this is going to be skill like this. So let's just save this here. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna make our migrations, then we're gonna create a super user, right? So here let me just control so here let me just press up here. It's gonna be python manage.py, then make migrations. Okay, let's go back to models.py. So we had a typo here, so let's try this again. Okay, so now I'm gonna say migrate. Okay, so now whenever we run our save, we're not gonna get that red 18 migrations warning. So now let's just create a super user, right? So you're gonna say python manage.py create super user. Okay, so let me just keep using Tanaka Peter. Email address, let me just create a dummy email address. So it's gonna be tanaka at mt.com. Password, I'm just gonna use admin. Yes. Okay, so now I'm gonna run our server, then we can access our admin panel. So here I'm gonna say run server. Okay, And here I'm gonna say /admin. Okay, then here, and our password was admin. Okay, so now we can see our 3 tables inside our admin panel, right? So what we're gonna do is we're just gonna add UM's category in skills. Then we're gonna try and show this inside our web, right? So here, let me just add here. So in our category, let's say we have programming. Right, 7, add another. Let's say designing. Let's say cyber security. Let's add some. Okay, let's say medicine. Construction. Right. So let's go to unit of measures and let's add something here. So let's say first one, let's say once off. And I'm gonna say per hour, per day, per week. Let's just maintain this one. So now let's go to skills. Then we're gonna add some random skills here. So name, let's say web design. So I'm just gonna be giving random names, select random categories, so you don't have to bite my head off if I mismatch something here. So web design, then the category is going to be programming. Unit of measure, we're just gonna say once off. Price, let's say, let's say $80, created by Naka Peter. So let's save and add another. Then here we need to add an image. Okay, so right here I just have like, these are like this was what you call it, thumbnail for my previous videos. So I'm just gonna select it. So it's just gonna be, the images are not gonna make sense, so just bear with me. I'm just making something. If you have good images, you can just use them here. So name here, we're gonna say API. Okay, API development. Category, let's put it under programming. Unit of measure, let's say hour. Price, let's say 17, created by Tanaka Peter. So let's save this, right? And then we're gonna go back to our text editor. Then we're gonna see if we can display this on our index page. So now we can get rid of our model.py and our admin.py. So we're not gonna be using this for the rest of the video tutorial, right? So we're gonna need urls.py, bills.py. What else I need? So inside our core, right, we need to create a folder, and we're gonna call this folder templates. And inside these templates, let's add a folder here. Just gonna call it main. Excuse me. Then inside this main folder, I'm gonna add a new file. Just gonna call it index.html. This needs to be an X. Then I'm gonna add 2 more folders, 2 more files. Then this one is going to be signup.html and login.html. HTML. We might also need to create what you call it, a base.html. Then we're just gonna keep our navigation in there and our footer in there. So let's just create it here. New file. I call it base.html. So let's just work on this base.html real quick. Then we're gonna work on the index view. Then we're gonna work on the URL by file. Then we're gonna be able to display something now on our landing page when we run our Django app. So here, let's just put an exclamation mark and tab. Okay. Then on top of this title, just gonna put a script. And the source going to be so I'm just gonna so we're going to be using Tailwind CSS for this video tutorial. So here we're gonna say cdn.tailwindcss.com. Okay, hope I didn't make a typo. Then now I'm gonna create a link underneath this. So this is gonna reference, so this is going to be the font awesome icons. I should have just copied the link and just pasted it in here. So let me just go through it real quick and see if I didn't make any mistake. Let me try to click it here. Okay, so that's the correct link. Okay, it's fine. Then what I'm gonna do with the title here, right? So we call the project folder skills, right? So I'm just gonna call this web app skills. So here I'm gonna say skills space, then some space. Then what I'm gonna do now is this, so that whenever we extend our base.html, right, the index.html file, the login.html file, the rest of the files we're gonna create in the future, right, they're gonna be able to add their own title. Don't have to write the whole thing from scratch. So here we're gonna say blog title, then here should be end block, like this. Okay, then inside our body, right, let's just give this body a class. So here when I say min h screen, so this is like the minimum height is just gonna be the entire screen. Then you're gonna say flex, then flex all. Our background is going to be gray, let's make it 50 because I was thinking of making let's make it 100. 50 is gonna be too light. Then text gray and to be 800, just like this. So inside our body here, let me just add a comment. So it's going to be navigation. So here we're gonna say nav, right? And we're gonna give this styling. So here we're gonna say padding, we're gonna set it to 4. Then flex, justify between. So I'm gonna say items center. Then we're gonna add a border at the bottom. Then I make it gray 300. Let's make it white. Let's give this navigation a white background. Then we're gonna add a shadow underneath it. So we're gonna say shadow MD. Excuse me. Then inside this navigation button, to the right, let's just add an anchor. So here, let's just say this. So it's just gonna be here. Then we're gonna give this a class. Then inside the class, we're gonna say font bold. Then text we're gonna set it to Excel. And then the color, we're gonna say text cyan. Let's set it to 600. Then we're just gonna call this skills. We put a Z or an S here. Let's just keep it like this. But now let's put a Z here. I think it's gonna look a lot cooler. Okay. And then I'm gonna put a div here. Then we're gonna say MD flex. Then space dash X. Let's say 6 or 4. Let's just keep it like 6 for now. And if it doesn't work out, then we're just gonna keep it out. 4. Then items center. Like this. Okay. So inside here, I'm gonna put an anchor tab. Then for now, let me just put hashtag this. Let's give this some class. So I'm gonna say let's say text cyan 600. Let's make it 500. Then let's say transition. Let's give it a title. So that okay, when we run this, right, we're just gonna see that when we hover through this, title is just gonna be displayed. So title, let's say new skill. Then here, let's just put an icon. I believe the icon should be + space FA2, just like this. Then text is going to be Excel. So let me just copy this and paste it 6 times. Okay. So the next one should be, this should be search. This should be, let's say, home. Then we need to get rid of this one. So this one needs to be sign in, and this one needs to be sign up. Like this. Then this needs to be so this one, let's say text LG. Then the sign up one, let's just call this one dashboard. This. So having the sign up as icons actually not work out well. So I believe we should make it like there should be a difference in first three and these sign up and sign in button. So what I'm gonna do is in the class, right, let me just copy this, then control D so that we can just work on updating the classes at the same time. So here I'm gonna say padding X, let's set it to 4, then padding Y, let's set it to 2, then we're gonna say background cyan, let's set it to 500, then our text going to be white, then we're gonna give this some rounded edges, so this is going to be rounded LG. This we need to add a button under this div, underneath this div, and we also need to put an if statement so that whenever we are logged in we don't see these sign up sign in buttons. Then also when we are not logged in we shouldn't see the dashboard. So what we're gonna do is right here I'm gonna say if request dot user dot is underscore authenticated. Okay, so I seem to put in, I always forget and put in an N between U and T, so I just need to check. Okay, this is fine. So if we are authenticated, right, we need to show this. Then here I'm gonna say else. Else we're gonna show these two if we're not authenticated. Then we need to end this if statement. This, okay. So underneath this div, we need to add a button. So here we're just gonna say button. I'm gonna give this button an ID. Just gonna call it menu btn. Then I'm gonna give this some class. I'm gonna say md hidden. So this button is going to be hidden whenever we have a larger screen, right? Then it's gonna be displayed when we're using, let's say, on mobile. So here we're gonna say text IN, let's put 500. Then focus is gonna say outline none, like this. So here I'm just gonna Control V and paste this little thing here. So I got this thing off ChatGPT, so I don't know what you guys I'll just find out how to do this. But what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna create a folder, then I'm just gonna have images which are just gonna be used like the ones I created for my templates or for YouTube. Then I'm just gonna paste this little thing in there. Okay, so underneath our nav, let's put a comment. Let's minimize this. So this is going to be mobile menu. And underneath this comment, I'm gonna put a div. So let's give this div an ID. We're just gonna call it mobile dash menu, like this. Then in our class, we're gonna say flex. Let's do flex call. Then item center. Make the background white. MD hidden. Then padding we're gonna say to 4. Then inside here, like, let's look at this here. So let me just copy everything in here except for the button. Then our new skill and search, we need to add some padding Y at the start. So it's just PY like this. We need to get rid of this. Then our dashboard. Okay, so this needs to be FA search, and I need to update this here also. Okay, so going back to our mobile menu, let's go to dashboard. So here, let me put some space here. Here I'm gonna say EY, heading Y is going to be 2, then W, the width is going to be 4, and text is going to be center, background is going to be Cayenne 500, Text is going to be white. Font. Our font, we're gonna set it to semi-bold. Then we're gonna give the background some rounded corners. Let's leave it like this. This is looking okay. So then our what you call them? Let me just copy this. Then I'm gonna paste it for sign up and sign in buttons. And if it's not looking okay, we're just gonna tweak the colors a little bit. Right. So I believe our mobile menu is done. Then okay, yeah, I need this div. Let's put a main. Then inside this main, let's give this main some class. So we're just gonna say flex row, then padding, we're just gonna set it to 6. Then inside this main, we're just gonna put here it's gonna be blog content. Then Control C, Control V, and blog. So here, let me put a comment here. So this is going to be body, Control D, this. Then let's create the footer. So let me put a comment here. Okay. So let's just say Emakuni Technologies product, all rights reserved. Like this. So let's give our footer some styling and say class. We're gonna set our padding to, let's set it to 3. Then our background is going to be black. Then our text is going to be center. For text, let's say, okay, let's make it 400. Then our text is going to be small. This, okay. Okay, now that we've done with the footer, let's put some script down here so that whenever we open the web app on a smaller screen, right? You're not going to see the main nav, we're just going to see the mobile menu. So here I'm going to say document get element by ID, then we name the button menu. Then here I'm gonna say add event listener. So this is going to be click, comma, function, and this is going to be document dot get element by ID. So So this is going to end. I'm just gonna get the mobile menu. Dot class list dot toggle. So just gonna toggle hidden just like this. Okay, so we just need to put this here also. So I believe our base.html file is working out, but before we can check that out, we need to first work on our index.html and our index inside our view in our views.py file. So we're gonna navigate to our views.py file. Then right here we're gonna say dot models import. So we created 3 models in our model.py file, but we're just gonna import 2. So just gonna import category and scale, right? Then down here I'm gonna say define. So let's just call our first view index. Just gonna say, then inside here I'm gonna say request. Then down here I'm gonna say skills. So here I'm gonna say skill dot objects dot all. So here we're just gonna fetch all the skills that we have in our database, right? Then we're just gonna put them inside the skills variable. Then down here we're also gonna need categories. So this is going to be categories. Then we're just gonna do the same. So I'm just gonna copy this and change this to category like this. Then what I'm gonna do here, then I'm gonna say return render. So now we're just gonna render our template. And inside here I'm gonna say first. Then our template is in main. So by default Django just looks for the templates folder inside our app folder, right? So here I'm just gonna say main, then index dot html, this. Then we're just gonna pass our skills and our categories to our main.index.html. So here I'm gonna do this. Then here so categories, then skills. So this is going to be skills like this, right? So if we go to our index.html, so at the top here I say it extends main / base.html. This, let me copy this and paste it down here. And this is going to be blog title like this. Then I'm going to get rid of this. Then here I'm gonna say welcome. So remember, if you open our base.html, then we navigate to the top. So what we're gonna do here, right, on the page title, right, just gonna see skills here, then this welcome that we're putting inside our index.html file. Then here we just say end block. Now down here, so this is going to be block contents, block content, like this. And I'm just gonna duplicate this, and this is going to be end block. And inside of block content, so on top here I'm gonna put a comment. So this is going to be skills. Then here I'm gonna put a div. So margin top, set it to 4. Then padding, I'm gonna set it to 4 also. So background, our background is already gray inside our base.html, so let's not put gray here. So let me just say rounded. Even if I put rounded, it's not gonna be visible, so I'm just gonna leave it like this. Then inside our div, I'm gonna put an h3, and this one is going to be latest skills, like this. Then I'm just gonna give this some styling. So margin bottom, I'm gonna set it to 6. Then text is going to be Excel. Then font is going to be semi-bold, like this. And underneath this h3, I'm gonna put another div. Then in here, I'm gonna say grid, then grid curves. Grid curves 1 here, and I'm gonna say SM grid curves, and it's going to be 2. Then MD, then grid curves is going to be 3. Then on a larger screen, grid curves is going to be, let's say, 3 to 4. Then I'm gonna say Excel grid curves, I'm gonna set it to 5. Then gap, I'm gonna set it to 3. Yes. So here we're just making sure that our web pages they can handle any screen size that we throw at them. So inside this div, right, just gonna say, let's put a for loop in there. We're just gonna loop through the skills that we have in our database, the same skills that we pass into our index.html inside views from our views folder. So here I'm gonna say for scale and skills, this, and underneath this let me just put n for here. Okay, so here I'm gonna put a div, this, and inside this div I'm gonna put an anchor. So for now, let me just put a hashtag, so it's not gonna lead anywhere for now. Then here I'm gonna, let's put a inside there, I'm gonna put a div also. Inside this div I'm gonna put an image. Then the source is going to be skill dot image dot URL like this. So let's get rid of this alt here. So let's give this image some styling. We're gonna say class. So we're gonna say rounded top. So it's just gonna have like rounded corners at the top. Then width is going to be 4. Then height is going to be auto. And underneath this div, we're gonna put another div. Then we're gonna give it some styling. We're gonna give it some padding. We're gonna set to 4. Then rounded. So it's gonna be rounded bottom. Just gonna put Excel so that the edges is just gonna be the same with the image. And the background we're gonna put white. So BG, we're gonna set it to white here. Then inside this div, we're gonna put an H2. And inside this H2, just gonna say skill dot name. And underneath this H2, we're gonna put a P tag. So we're gonna give it some styling of text, gray 400. Then we're just gonna put a $sign here, price. And inside here, I'm gonna say scale dot price. Then inside here, we're gonna say scale dot unit of measure, like this. So okay, now let's navigate to our urls.py file so that we make sure that we link this view to URL. So inside the urls.py file, right now, the first thing we're gonna do is we're just gonna do something so that we can be able to see our images. So we're only gonna be doing this development process. So underneath here, right here, let's say plus static, right? Then we're gonna say settings dot media comma document underscore root is equal to settings dot media underscore root. So we need to import static and setting. So let me just underneath path here say from Django dot import settings like this. Then I say Django dot font dot URLs dot static import static like this. Okay, so now when I say from core dot views import index like this. Then inside the URL patterns, right here, I'm gonna say path. Then I'm just gonna say empty quotes here, comma, index name equal to index this. So then we put a comma at the end like this. If we've done everything correct here, right, shouldn't get any errors, and should see we should see the skills in our database displayed on the index page. Okay. So let me just drag this up here. Okay, the image attribute has no file associated with it. Okay. So if we open the first one, so let me just select a random image here. Okay, so we have information displayed here, right? So we need to make sure that we have some space in here between these two skills that we have displayed on our screen. So let's navigate to our index.html. Okay, now let's look for where we should be putting some space here. Okay, so this should be J3, not a PEP3. So let's open our browser again. Okay, so now we have some space in here, right? And we don't see all our icons on top here. Okay, but for now there's a design I saw was sometime way back on YouTube, so I'm just gonna try and implement it underneath these latest skills here. Then after that, then we're just gonna work on making sure all our icons are displayed here, right? So we have the search button, and okay, it's fine. Let's go back to our text editor. So underneath these skills, right, just gonna put a comment. So this is going to be categories, Control D, Control / like this. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna copy, excuse me, just gonna copy this whole div here. Then this is going to be categories, this. So this is going to be for category and categories. So we're not gonna need an image here, so let's get rid of it. And now we're just gonna remain with the name. We're gonna have category name. Then we're gonna say let's put skills here. Get rid of this. Then here we're gonna say category skills dot count, like this. Let's get rid of this $sign here. Okay, let's open our browser. Yeah. Okay, so this is looking so much better. So what we're gonna do now is take a look at our, let's inspect this so that we make sure that the latest skills and categories adapt to all screen sizes that we have. Okay, So this is looking good. So now let's click here. So this is not working, so we need to fix our navigation bar. Okay, this is looking nice. So let's go back to our text editor. Okay, so let's open base.html. So now we're just gonna go look at the navigation line by line, make sure everything's working out. So the first, so if you look at it here, right, this should be tools. So we're seeing this search button and this dashboard, right? So which means everything was working well. So let me check our mobile menu. This should be tools also. So let me open this. Okay, so now we see these, and this cayenne color is looking greenish. Or it's just my eyes, I don't know. But anyways, let's proceed. Okay, so now we need to make sure that this button works here. Okay, so let's go back to our text editor. So let's take a look at this. Okay, this seems to be working okay. So let's go up here. Okay, so this is menu. So after I fix this, I'm just gonna take a break. So after this, I'm just gonna take a break because I'm starting to notice I'm making a lot of typing. So I'm just gonna take a break, and now I'm gonna proceed with the next video in a couple of days. Right, so let's open our browser and let's run this. Okay, now, okay, so now we can see that we're getting something here. Now we need to make sure that our icons are displayed down here. Let's go back to our text editor. Okay, let me just drag this to the bottom. What I'm gonna try and do is get rid of this div here. Then I'm gonna shift up this once, Control S, then try to run this again. Okay, so we seem to be getting something here. Okay, so we're just having py2 fine, and try and control D everything here. Then this is going to be E. Let's try 4. Okay, so this is looking much better now. Okay, so I'm just gonna end this video here. Then now we're just gonna start working on the other video as soon as I get some rest, and I'm gonna upload it in 2 days to a week. So stay tuned, like, subscribe, and see you in the next one.